Marilyn moments. Hello everybody, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. We've got 2 minutes until we get started. Let me see, I've got Tim and Maggie, Sarah and the girls, V, Lisa, Sarah, Laurie, Martha, Liz, Chelsea, hello in Germany. Ooh, 7 a.m, how lovely. That's not too bad at all. We've got some that have to get at 6 for this. Anita, hello. Mark, Luke, Mary Lou, Bridget, Faith. Hi, Luke. Nice to see you. Got Luke as a new sponsor. Mary Lou sponsor. Another one as well. Laurie, Sarah, and Rebecca, my sponsors. Hello, Juna and Jane. Christine, Deborah, Maple. Maple, there's no food here. I don't think so, anyway. I'm glad you're coming, anyway. Hi, Esther. Hi, Eleanor. Faith, Susan, Julie, Lynn. Hi, Dawn. Nice to see you. We've got 1 minute until we get started. But you guys can see this little manhole cover. I'm going to flip the camera in a second. Hi, Ken. Nice to see you. I think I probably did get your email address, yes. But I've been traveling in Tokyo and Yokohama and now Himeji. So a bit busy at the moment. But tomorrow I'm posting more of our daffodils. That's a very sad, scary kind of... So welcome to Himeji City, everybody. We've got a couple of nice pieces of art and things along the way. Susan says, hi, Dawn. You're not the lady who went on the tour to Japan with me. This is the tour to Japan. Oh, it's a little bit warm. We've got my friend Kaylee is here with me today. Pastel Princess, we'll call her. A real tour. Hi, Anna, Car, and Margaret, Sue, Susan. Nice to see you guys. I think I'm going to have to lower my mask. Talking with the mask and the walking is not going well. Not going so well right now. All right, we're at the official start time. Hello, Beverly and Hayward, Memphis, Stephen, Charlotte, Helen. Hello, everybody. I'm going to lower it properly and show you my face. Hi. So nice to see you guys. Thank you very much for coming. Welcome to Himeji City. It's quite away from where I live. I live in Shiga. I live 25 minutes away from Kyoto. And we're about an hour and a half or a little bit longer away from that. So about 2 and a bit hours away from where I live. In kilometers and miles, I haven't checked that. I'm guessing about 150, if I were to hazard a guess. Hi, Richard, and hi, Grace. Nice to see you guys. So I'm very, very excited to be here. I've never done a tour here before. I thought about it, but, time and money. But what better reason could we have than cherry blossoms? Now, they're not in the fullest of blooms, but they are looking very, very lovely. So I'm going to get you lots of lovely pictures, but you're going to see the most splendid castle. It's said to be the most splendid castle in all of Japan. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to that. I've got my notes with me. It's feeling a little bit too warm almost. It's about 20 degrees Celsius. I'm sorry, I don't have your Fahrenheit. Do you do Fahrenheit for that? No, we're Canadian and British hanging out today. So we don't have Fahrenheit for you. Hi, Ewa. Hi, Evie and Jennifer. Nice to see you. Hi, Katie. So we'll be together for about an hour and a half. I've not done the tour before nor been able to get here to do a test version of the tour due to those time constraints and things. But I expect that it'll be that long or a little bit less long. So if you're super tired, don't worry. Maybe it won't go on for as long as that. We've got lots of lovely sculptures around here, cast in bronze. And I'm going to do my best because I've been living in Japan for 3.5 years and I'm a castle enthusiast here. Castle enthusiast. Castle, I spell it K-A-S-A-W. Castle. So I'm hoping that I can give you some interesting information and generally talk about my experience living here in Japan. And the most important thing of them all, show you Japan's first World Heritage Site castle. That's very, very important, alongside another temple that's in Kyoto. And of course, because of the season, show you some cherry blossoms. Oh, Margaret says her son lived in Himeji for 18 months. Oh, 72 Fahrenheit, thank you very much. Hayward, champion Hayward. So, when you come to Himeji, you only have to walk about 15 minutes from the train station, which seems to be what they were planning when they made the castles about hundreds of years ago, 400 years ago or so. They'd obviously planned the train stations and the castle location because Hikone Castle too is just 15 minutes away from the train station, and it's just a straight line. And although we don't have a view just yet, I did when I came straight out of the train station, but it is past lunchtime, so I needed to make sure I had some lunch so that I could present you a non-hangry tour. It's important to have a happy tour guide, I think. Hi Sandy and Karen and Jill, nice to see you. Where's your face? Was that your face, a hungry one? Hi Lee, Mark, Judith, everybody. Shirley, nice to see you. So it's a little bit extra sunny, so I'm squinting. And you're going to have a very beautiful view very shortly. You know, on my tours, I like to provide a little bit of context, especially if you guys might consider coming to Japan in the future and you want to know things like how far is it from the train station. You can get a feel for that, but also we can enter the castle together in at the same time with the same kind of feeling of excitement. I hope you get lots of lovely postcards today. I've no doubt. Beautiful sunny day. Thanks for the wave, Jill. Jennifer, hello. This seems to be commonplace in quite a lot of Japanese cities. We have little sculptures along the way. I'm not going to stop at all of them because every time I stop at them, we'll run out of time for inside. And I'm looking for gorgeous manhole covers to show you as well. In Japan, there are lots of lovely painted manhole covers on the ground. So I'm often looking down. And if you have eagle eyes, you've probably already spotted the castle in the background. If you have eagle eyes, or should I say heron eyes, although I don't know if they're known for being good at seeing. Hello, Fran. So I already think I have to remove my cardigan. I knew when the sun properly came out, it would change everything. So we might do a little change around in a moment. But there's a nice spot that I can show you just over here first. I'll just let these people pass. No, they're definitely going to take pictures. No? Okay, not of the same thing. So here we have what I'm going to humbly call castle toppers. I'm a bit conscious of how I say castle now. These are fish, which are, the idea is that they will ward off fire. So hopefully if you have these lovely aquatic creatures on top of your castle will not experience fire and other hazards related to heat. But they're gorgeous, aren't they, these examples of them? Let's have a look. We've got a bit of information. Shachihoko of the Tenshu. This is a little bit hard to see. Main tower of the castle, or the roof ornament of the edge of the roof of the castle, are abstract representations of fish. Oh my goodness, sorry. You've been photobombed by a frog just there. The ornament is a charm to guard against fire and ward off disaster. These are replicas of the ones that are on the castle. Hi, Meg and Alison. Nice to see you. Who else have I got? Hi, Fran. Thank you all very much for coming. So we're in Himeji City, which has about 500,000 people living in it. And I think quite interestingly, 250,000 households. So it's kind of like 2 people per household on average, if you think about it loosely like that. Or it could be a lot of elderly people living alone and then a lot of young people with little baby families. And it looks like there's a little festival outside the castle grounds just over here. And I came here once before and really liked seeing that. And I bought myself some really cool little antique things. And it was one of my first experiences 2 years ago at doing my best to speak Japanese with locals, but I really was not very good then. So who knows what I said. I think I'm going to have to take this cardigan off. definitely. Kaylee, could I use your hand? When we get to the castle view, I'll use your hand as we cross the road, and I'll take my cardigan off. I've got a lovely fluffy cardigan on, but it's a bit too much. It was cold earlier though, because I've continued my journey from Kyoto. And just in case anyone is interested, not interesting, of course you're all interesting. 1 second, manhole cover here. If you're interested, the Shinkansen from Kyoto would be not free, but included in your pass if you wanted to come all the way down here. But for me, it cost me, from my home, it's 2,800 yen, so about $28. And while I've got you all here, you might recognize this this artist. This is one of the same, from the same sculptor that has lots of statues in Sagawa Art Museum in Moriyama, where I live, and I love it. And there are a few of these around in different major cities. So if you've ever come with me to Sagawa Art Museum and you've seen outside and you've heard how passionately I've spoken about the artists inside and shown you guys pictures and things, then you'll know that that's very exciting to me. The manhole covers are so beautiful, aren't they? Really, really lovely. Okay, there are a lot of people here today. Right, it smells really nice, like loads of sweets around here. It smells like candy. Oh, it smells really good. I think we're not going to make that crossing. Right, guys, we've got so many people. We've got another beautiful manhole cover that Kaylee is going to get her cute little shadow away from, maybe. Me too. We're going to get our cute little shadows away from that. How lovely is that manhole cover? Have you ever seen such a thing? We've got really lovely ones throughout Kansai, such as in Osaka and other places. But yeah, that was a really good one. Let me see. Has Kendall started the tour? I only see the chat so far. Oh, somebody help Shirley. Yeah, we've got it. I'm here. Hi, Lethargy. Nice to see you. Hi, Matt. Okay. Kaylee, may I borrow your hand, please? Oh, she's busy. She's playing Pokemon Go. It's serious. It's serious. She'll be with us in a second. You know what? I'm going to be too cold sometimes. Okay, I'm holding it. I'm going to leave it like this for now. So, okay, I'm leaving it on. And if I'm a sweaty mess underneath this, then let it be. Let it be. Is it a holiday in Japan today? No, it's not a holiday. However, it is cherry blossom season, which means that lots and lots of tourists are here because the borders are finally open this year. So tourists from within Japan and from other countries as well are here. I'm just a figment of your imagination. Well, you guys have excellent imaginations for having dreamt up such a critter as myself. So the grounds of this castle are the biggest in Japan, actually. They're absolutely huge. And within the grounds, you can see 83 different buildings, as well as plenty of gates and walls. And it's just fantastic. And they call it the White Heron Building, but they affectionately name it after a white heron. Here's a little picture, 2 pictures of white herons. So if you're looking at this, if you're watching this on Heygo, then you can, of course, see it in the chat. Beautiful white heron just there. And all of the walls are plastered in white, which is why they look so lovely. Thank you very much, Charlotte, for your contribution to my efforts today. Okay, I'm squinting. There are so many people. So I actually got a little message before from Atsuko. Atsuko lives in Kansai, where this castle is, where I live as well. But Kansai is a very big area, which includes Shiga, Osaka, Kyoto, Hyogo, Wakayama, Mie? Mie is not in it. Mie? Yeah, Mie. It's got 7. That's Mie too. Yeah, hi Barry, nice to see you. Okay, we're crossing the road. We're going to stay off the little cycle track area. I'm going to keep high above the people just for a little bit of respect for everybody around. And we can already see the bushels and bushels of cherry blossoms. They're at about 60% right now. But Atsuko sent me a message yesterday. Oh, they're manning it. They're manning it a lot. Thank you very much, Maple, for your tip just there. That's very kind of you. So this gets lit up at night, especially during this season. The water looks very blue. I don't necessarily think it's that particularly clean, but we've got giant koi down there. They just seem to get bigger and bigger on these tours, don't they? Maybe the tourists are feeding them. But yeah, it's very, very gorgeous. It gets lit up at night. The castle in general gets lit up at night. But at the moment, I think they have a special event. I believe it starts from this weekend until the end of next weekend, where they will also light up the castle walls and do some kind of projection that happens every 15 minutes or so. But it's a big old distance getting down here, so I'm afraid I can't make it for that one, but I will be taking you to one of the other national treasures in Japan. One of 5 castles are national treasures. This was the very first one, and Hikone Castle is another one. So I will be taking you to the nighttime event, a little bit closer to home for me. Thanks, Anakar. That's very kind of you. Sorry, I like these trees. They look very fresh and good. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Julie. If anyone hasn't had a proper hello and they want one, do let me know. So, Kaylee, are you scared at what it might look like on the other side of those walls?
Not really.
There's a little filter of people just coming over the bridge. I've taken my mask off because I'm feeling hot carrying and wearing everything. We don't actually have to wear masks in Japan right now. Usually I do, but I'm going to make this exception for outside and presenting this tour to you guys. Thank you very much, Martha. It's very kind of you. Now, I've got 1,000 yen in my pocket so that I can go up towards the castle area. But, excuse me, I'm going to show them this one as well. For anyone who's just come in. Here you go, another lovely manhole cover. You've got to collect them all. Kaylee, do these count as Pokestops for you? All of them, or just the occasional one?
Only some of them.
Only some of them. Okay. Just bear with me. We'll get through this area. So it's very convenient that there is just a straight line to get to the castle from the station, and lots of nice restaurants and shops and things along the way. But inside, you're just going to see the grounds are fantastically large, and the gates and things too. The last time I came here, well, the only other time I came here was for a festival, actually. I'll explain that a little bit more as we just work our way through these people. I think there might be a lot on the other side. So, sorry, I'm jumping about all over the place. Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, Robert, Ellen, Elizabeth. Atsuko sent me a message about 3 hours ago when myself and Kaylee, my friend here, were already on the train. And I thought, oh no, we're halfway there. She said, and I also don't want to disappoint the Voyagers, you guys. She said, Kendall, I went there yesterday and it was so busy. We couldn't even go up in the castle tower. It was so busy, which was a bit of a shame. But my plan was never to go in that scary tower anyway. I say scary because inside Japanese castles are just, the stairs are so steep, the rooms are just black or brown, and it's quite terrifying. And the one that I have taken you into, Hikone Castle's one, and I'll take you in there next week if you'd like to go. It's only 3 tenshu, so 3 towers high, whereas this one is 6, which is also a little rare because, as I've said to you before, Japanese people like to do things in 3s and 5s, right? Yeah, the gate is just gorgeous, right? You couldn't really ask for more than a perfect blue sky behind it, apart from maybe a little puff of cloud, but we don't have that today. Maybe just ease my voice for a second. Thank you very much, Esther, for giving me a follow. Hello, Kiara. Nice to see you. Okay. Oh, so many cherry trees. Now, before anyone asks me, I know you always like to know exactly how many cherry trees there are and how old they are. I've looked and I cannot find the answers. But what I will do is find you lovely close-ups as and when I see the chance to. Wow. Now, what's stronger, the puffs of white of the cherry blossoms or the little dots of black and brown and blonde hair everywhere? Well, let's be honest, mostly black and brown hair everywhere. Amazing. But even though we're not going into the castle tower, I've got that 1,000 yen in my pocket, and I believe I can get you up for a look above so that we can have a look around the whole city. I've walked up there before, and I think that will grant me access to that. And interestingly, from this spot here, you can see just to the right, there is actually a zoo. I did consider doing a tour inside the zoo. However, I've been inside the zoo before, and it's a little bit smelly. I know you guys can't smell it, but the smelliness kind of comes from the cages being too small and things, and I didn't really feel like that's the kind of zoo I wanted to show on Heygo. But lovely. It's nice to see so many people celebrating and enjoying we say hanami. Hanami is the appreciation of cherry blossoms. So let me see if I can get some close-ups around here. It's so bright though. Ah, look. Everyone will be waiting for that perfect bloom just there to make a gorgeous picture that makes it look as if the castle is just enshrouded with blossoms. Yes, Maple, like popcorn trees. Did anybody catch that just then? If you were really lucky, you would have got a bunch of birds just fluttering along just then. Now, some of the trees are at about 80% bloom, but some of them are just at 50% bloom. But they do look very nice. Let's go get you some nice angles on these, because admiring the white of the castle and the white of the blossoms is what we're here to do. Are the blossoms out earlier this year? Yes. So that's why this tour was cancelled. The tour was actually due to start in a week from now, just under a week from now. Oh, I found one. That one in there. I found a good one. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Just going to carry you around this way. Do they produce fruit you can eat? Well, Maple, you have a one-track mind, and I like it. Maple-chan really, really loves eating and food. She's definitely a foodie. But no, these ones don't produce fruit as far as I know. They have to be cultivated in a special way to make them bear fruit, or else they would just be dropping little red dots all over the ground for loads of the summer too. But good question all the same. We've got some nice shots around here. Okay, sorry. That's me taking it back that I said that, Maple. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I won't let a soul know. That's the take back. So lovely. There are some really great views to be had up and along there. Now, so far, you've had all of the information out of my head, but at some point later, I'm going to stop here and there and read some of the information that's in my notebook next to me. So bear with me. If you've got some questions, you're welcome to ask them, and I will try and answer them either from my head or I'll check my notes for them later. But here we can walk underneath lots of cherry blossoms that are blooming quite a lot. Some are even falling off the trees. And lots of people are around having, are you on my skirt watch? Yeah, it's going well. Okay. Lots of people are around having picnics. And the sweetest thing is, look, there's all that. I'm not going to zoom in on anybody because that's rude. But the sweetest thing is that in the middle, it's all kind of spaced out, right? All of the people are enjoying food directly under the cherry blossom trees. Now, some of the voyagers have asked before, is this normal? Do you need to sit directly under the tree? You don't need to, but everyone else is doing it. And when in Rome, some good shots around here. Look, I can get the people out of the shots. It's so romantic looking, I think. Not the red drunken faces. So the deal is that usually you will bring a bento box. A bento box is a lunch box that you made of all of your favorite things to come and share with everybody. You can have a selection, or you can make all of yours to be in an individual little set for yourself. But also it's very common for everybody to have, or at least people who would like it, to have beer as well. So I've seen quite a lot of very red faces. Oh, Deborah says something nice. She said, beautiful, always amazed that history lives so close to the city. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I think the garden is up that way. I've got in the background ominous note towards my friend. But I think we should have a walk through the garden. I think that's going to be a nice spot. What do you guys want first, the castle or the garden? It looks like there's a lot of blossoms over in the garden. Let me know. First, castle or the garden? The castle's going to have great views, but we can finish on the great views. Okay, every time I ask a question like this, I get half and half. I should be more careful. 2 for garden so far, 1 for castle. Go with my instincts. Okay, I'm gonna go with my instincts and go for a garden because it's right next to me and it's looking really busy. So it looks like there's lots of good stuff going on in there. Let's have a little look. Now, I actually don't know much about this garden in particular, but I do know quite a bit about Japanese gardens. So if you have questions, let me know. I'll see if I can help. And there's some people enjoying the flowers with, wow, look at the detail on the back of that obi. The obi is the kind of belt, ribbon-like belt that's around the middle of the kimono. And on the back, it's got wonderful birds of paradise. Lovely. And you've got to have an umbrella to protect you from all of the rain that's everywhere. No, it's not Eriko's mum, but it does look a bit like Eriko's mum, doesn't it? It's not. Little dogs as well. So you've got to bring your favorite teddy bears and your dogs and take pictures of them with the cherry blossoms. That's just one of the many ways in which you can enjoy Hanami. You can have a picnic directly underneath the trees. You can take a picture of your dog or yourself or your favorite teddies. Kaylee, what do you prefer? Yourself with a prop or nothing? Just the blossoms? Nothing. Yeah. Maybe Nova teachers are usually nothing, right? So she's just out of shop, but you can hear me talking to someone. That's my friend Kaylee. We're both English teachers. Well, sorry, we're English instructors. They let us know sometimes we're not teachers. We're instructors, so we teach English here in Japan. Got a nice view over here, but it's being used up. 1 second, I'll see what I can do. Hi. Yeah, so the umbrellas are to protect people from the sun, because in Japan, whiteness usually represents purity. So they like the warding off of evil spirits that comes from such things as a glorious tan, whereas most people in Western cultures actually quite enjoy a tan. I personally enjoy a tan. But I kind of feel like I look really out of place in the summer here when I've gathered my tan. So this is a kind of strolling park garden, but we've got lots of blossoms in the middle, which is very nice. Where is she? She's gone. I was just going to attempt to read the kanji, but I can't read all of it. Bantan-in. An instructor and a teacher. Exactly. Now, I've just noticed that my gimbal seems to have a lower battery life than I expected, so I might have to pop it on charge as we wander around. We've got some dancers over here. Deborah's asked a nice, interesting question. She said, are the blossoms white because the castle is white? Actually, this is the most famous type of cherry blossom, the Some Yoshino, and they're usually white. They do look a lot more pink when they're in bud, and in the middle of the flower is actually pink. So I'll get you a nice close-up in a second so we can examine the inside of the flower. So it's not actually because the castle is white, but I expect they chose these both because they're the most common and because the castle is white. What's the difference between an instructor and a teacher? How nicely they treat us, I expect, Joan. Any ideas, Kaylee? How much they want to pay us, I expect. Yeah, so Deborah's interestingly said that she thought that they were predominantly pink. There are many, many types of cherry blossoms, around 100, and quite a few of them are pink, but some of them are soft pink with white on the plant at the same time. But most of them, if they are pink, are very, very bright electric pink, which I don't think is what most people think of when they think of a cherry blossom. They think of maybe the emoji, which is a soft pink. One has better pay, yes. Maybe teachers get better pay. I'm going to pop into the middle to these nice blossoms and out to the side again. Oh, there are some people around here making TikTok videos because that's what you've got to do now. Maple says she gets confused between plum and cherry blossoms, but my friend Kaylee, who's behind me, she's got the best advice. If you're ever worried, what do you do, Kaylee?
I don't know if it's a cherry blossom or a plum blossom, then it's a plum blossom.
Okay.
If I have to ask myself, then it's a plum blossom.
Okay, very good. So that could be in line with the following. So first of all, just in case you couldn't hear it, Kaylee said, if you don't know if it's a plum blossom or a cherry blossom, it's probably a plum blossom. So if you have to ask, it's probably a plum blossom. But I would say if there are people sat under it, it's definitely a cherry blossom. They don't do that with the plum, do they? If there are people underneath. Yeah, Sakura also have a very faint smell. So Sakura is the Japanese name for cherry blossoms. Just a faint smell for those ones. Oh, that's okay, Beverly. I understand. She says, getting sleepy. See you. Look at that. It's almost too many of them, isn't it? Almost too many blossoms. Let me try and get you an angle with some good lighting. And these ones have come a little bit past their full bloom. So they're at like 110 or 120%. Let me try and get you in a little bit close. Bear with me. Got to find the right lighting. And we can have a look inside and we can see that they're pink inside there. Can you see? Inside they're pink and their bud was also pink. Yeah, you can sit underneath the blossoms so they gently fall over you. That's the idea. And then you go as they land in your mouth. Lisa said, I remember Yusuke saying that, yeah, you're right there. 1 second. Oh, what's happened? I remember Yusuke saying that plum bloom directly on the branch, whereas Sakura come off in green a little bit. So Sakura tend to come off in these little bushels that have little green stems just underneath. Sorry, it's a little bit close there. So they've got little green bushely bits underneath. Whereas the plum blossoms, if you look at a branch, they look like a stick of candy floss because they're plum, so they're attached to the branch. So he is exactly right. I bought a Sakura after my trip to Japan. It had a few blossoms for a couple of years, but there are none now. Oh, I think it might have been killed by the frost. That does happen. Thank you. My nails have cherry blossoms ready for the season. I think I'm going to have to find somewhere to sit and pop this gimbal. It's got a dangerous looking red light on it. Pop it on charge. And then we'll go and have a little walk. We're going to walk through these little stepping stones. Even if it's a kind of park garden like we're in right now, it's still important to have stones and water and pathways that you can kind of promenade throughout the garden in a Japanese garden. Lovely birds and things around. 1 second. So I found some interesting information earlier. I was quite surprised. I mean, I guess I shouldn't really be surprised to find that Himeji Castle has been the site of so many film sets in the background, film sets in the past, including You Only Live Twice, that famous James Bond movie from 1967, if I'm correct. Oh, Susan says her one doesn't like British weather. I can understand that. So let me let me lighten the mood with a little picture from that 1967 James Bond classic, You Only Live Twice. Maybe you can see just what I mean. There's a really lovely pink blossom in the distance, so I'll take you to see that in just a second. But what do you think? We're stood in almost the same spot, guys. That's so cool. I want to say Kelly like the book. Kaylee, this picture I just shared. Look, we're stood in the same spot. I'm gonna pretend that I planned that, like I did. Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? Bond, Kendall Bond. Actually, my last name is James, so I mean, why use Kendall when you can use James? Kendall James. It's fine. It's all there. In fact, my little brother uses that. And those lovely little old ladies have just taken the seat I was going to use.
Oh, that one over there.
Gosh darn lovely old ladies. What do I do? Okay, over this way. Gosh darn lovely little ladies. What can I do? What can I do? Push them off. Good. Okay, I've got my spotter here. She's found one. That's it. Oh, that's true. Gotta run. Gotta beat. Gotta. I can't say what I was going to say. I can't. Not everything I want to say can be said. Look, the castle looks so tiny right now. This is just an optical illusion. It looks like the walls are significantly bigger. Okay. These are a different type of sakura. So they have a lovely pink bloom that you can see. Don't they look sweet? I mean, they do look like real sweets, actually. I'll try and get in a little bit closer in a second. So you can even see they're doing the thing that Yusuke says they will do when they are cherry blossoms. We've got this little stem here. But they're very cute.
Okay, I just took the bench.
Damn it. That lovely, lovely old man just took the bench. I was too slow. That was honestly my own fault. If it was Kaylee that needed the bench, she would have kicked me just then because that was stupidly slow. How's that little silhouette kind of the very cute castle in the background? Looking cute in that one. Kawaii ne indeed. So we say kawaii, which means cute or pretty or beautiful. Oh yes. He just he just wanted us to get out of the way. We were in his walking spot. So we've just ran. Okay, excuse me while I hold you somewhere special. I'm just going to plug in this little gimbal. The gimbal, if anyone doesn't know, because that's a strange word that you probably have never heard before joining Heygo. The gimbal is the stabilizing device. That is why you don't get seasick when you come on my tours. Unless I take you to the sea, then you might. Okay, let's have a look. Well, we got a little seat here. I'm going to plug this in. Check that it's actually charging. Yay! It's doing a little flash now. Hi, Richard. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Richard is a guide in Australia, but whenever he comes on my tours, usually, I'm taking him to crazy places. Last time was Harajuku at night time, so that was a little bit something. And other than that, he's come to Rosa and Berry Garden during their crazy nighttime illuminations. And my friend Kaylee here, I'm sure she knows how mad the illuminations can be here in Japan. But yeah, it's lovely. Now, let me just do a little history for you. We'll fill you in with a little bit of information while I've got my notebook, because so far it's been from my head. Okay, so Himeji is in Hyogo, Kansai, as I have said. That's the name of the city, and so the castle is called, of course, Himeji Castle. You can kind of see the castle just through here, but that's probably not the best view for you right now. So I'm going to take you back to the cherry blossoms while I read. The main castle keep, the Tenshu, we say, on the top, was completed in 1609. And interestingly, as I have mentioned before, the castle has never experienced an attack. However, I'll explain that it has actually almost been damaged very, very badly, because at the end of World War II, the whole, as in it was 1945. I say that I was there. It was 1945. The whole of the Himeji town, the city, was bombed quite severely, but amazingly, the castle wasn't destroyed at all. Actually, just one bomb was dropped onto the main castle keep area, but the bomb actually never went off, which is quite amazing. Hello, Richard and granddaughter. Nice to see you both. So let me continue. This is one of few original feudal age castles in Japan. I'm going to get up and walk around so that you can it's going to be better if you can see the castle at the same time. Okay, I've now got loads of cables coming off of me, so I look like a enthusiastic castle-loving cyborg. but that's okay. We're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. So it's a very, very large city with 500,000 people. And it's about 200 miles squared, or about 530 square kilometers. Maple says, Richard, are you teaching your granddaughter the tricks of the trade for Heygo? And much like most of Kansai, and quite a lot of Japan in general, to be honest, especially the main body of the island. Honshu is the main island. We have really hot summers and really cold winters. Not so unbearable. I understand in parts of America, and I'm here with a Canadian, so I think they might know cold a little more than me. But still, it's usually also really rainy in the summer, which was a big surprise to me because I'm a summer baby and I like having barbecues in the summer. But I cannot have a barbecue in the summer in Japan for my birthday. I have to have a karaoke session, but that's fine. Maple says cold. What is that? Hello, Amelia. Nice to see you. Hi, Ginny B. Nice to see you too. Welcome. So this is the lovely six-story castle. It's up on a little hill. The castle sprawls over a vast site comprising of 83 buildings. And in this huge area just around here, I first came 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, for a special festival. It was one of the annual festivals, the 70th festival. And there was a big parade happening right down the middle. But it was a very organized kind of thing, much like this tour session that's happening right here, or procession, should I say. So let me show you. I'm going to put my finger in the screen, okay, just coming in. Just all the way along here, there was a very long area that was sectioned off in the middle, about 4 meters wide, 5 meters wide, and then either side were loads of chairs. And basically all of the different groups and mascots and everything from the city came to parade, and we just got to watch all of them, and it was fantastic. And it seems like the mascot for the castle might be something like a penguin that has a whole castle just on its head, which is not uncommon in Japan for a castle mascot to be an animal, I don't know which or why, with a castle just on its head. Oh, sumimasen. Thank you so much, Richard. That's very kind of you. So we're going to go up so we're a bit closer to the castle, and they're probably going to tell me to try and take a plastic bag for going in the castle. But as I have told you before, we are not going inside it because, for starters, it's very dangerous, especially with a gimbal. It's very tall. It's also just nothingness inside, and there's a lot of people today, so it's going to be even more uncomfortable. Plus, have we put ourselves accidentally at the back of a tour thing? Thank you, Shirley. A penguin. A penguin show. Yes, Maple, I should have known that would get you excited. Okay. What's that? Waiting time 1 hour. Okay, so that's the castle entrance. I think we can still go up and walk around the grounds without going in that way, which would be good. But if you come here as a tourist, you can go inside the castle walls and inside the castle tower, which is great. But yeah, there aren't things inside. You can have a nice sense of the period. So 400 years ago is when the Edo period began in Japan. One of our favorite periods, filled with daimyo, which is regional lords of all of the lands. Around 300 daimyo were around at the time of 300 daimyo ruling each of the lands in the area back then. She's teaching you about unicorns. Richard, I'm surprised you didn't already know about unicorns. Just bear with me one moment. I've got a few cables up and around me, but I'm going to get you some close-ups in a second. I can't believe you didn't already know about unicorns, and you've deigned to have a granddaughter. You should have been fully equipped. It's all right. I forgive you. So, because I have come into the castle before, I can tell you that, and I can add to this here, it says AR. AR stands for augmented reality, and it means that you can hook up your phone and other things to points around these castle grounds and get to learn more about the castle grounds and even experience it in 3D in so many places, which is pretty cool. And inside there is a virtual reality experience, but you just have to queue and wait. I expect today it takes a really long time, but you can experience being a samurai warlord and charging into the castle grounds, which is really, really awesome. And I think you can catch a version of that on YouTube and see, but it's not quite the same as popping on the headset. There is a spider crawling up my leg. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can read some of this. Okay. In this garden, foundation stones that were made unnecessary by the reconstruction of the foundations for the main keep during the Showa restoration in 1956 to 1964 have been placed in their original positions to recreate the footprint of the keep's foundation platform. When the main keep was built, its pillars were settled on foundation stones. However, the building has a total weight of 6,000 tons, and the ground beneath it had subsided. This resulted in a height difference between the building's foundation stones and the stone walls of the main keep had subsided by around 26 centimeters in the southeast corner. Therefore, if reinforcing pillars and braces had not been inserted, the main keep would have leaned so much that it would have been called the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Would have leaned so much that it would no longer have been able to support itself. During the Showa era restoration, reinforced concrete foundations were created on the bedrock to prevent subsidence. Subsidence, that's the word. This was so that the weight of the keep could be supported directly by the bedrock itself. During the restoration work, the interior of the keep's stone walls were evacuated as far down as the bedrock, which eliminated the need for these foundation stones. So they have kept them so that we can still get an idea, even without paying the ticket money. Have I seen a spider today? No, just felt one on the back of my leg just now, which was a little bit uncomfortable. Oops. I think I might have a good view over there. Bear with me. Subsidence. No, it wasn't that. Subsidence. No, it wasn't that word. Sorry. Hi. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Spiders must love me. Money spiders can just come at me as much as they like. I'm cool with that. Are we saying hi to the granddaughter? Hello. Sustenance. I don't think that was the word either. Subsidiary, subside. Subsided. No, I know all of those words. Sustenance. Interesting. Thank you very much, guys. What Japanese word shall I teach you? Okay, so I'll teach you a Japanese word to do with the color white. Shiroi is white, but also castle is shiro, right? So I was really confused when I came to the festival here about 2 years ago because it said everywhere that it was the Shiro Matsuri. So I thought it was the white festival, but actually it was saying it's the castle festival. Yeah, I'm on my own with that one. Yeah. Okay. So you can see up here. 1 second, let me grab my notes. So all the way around the castle grounds is evidence of highly developed defensive systems, despite it not ever having been used for war, which is lucky enough for that. Such as these. Do you see these? I'm going to bring my finger in a little bit. These little triangles and circles and rectangles, or oblongs, if you care to bring up. Who says oblong anymore? If you care to bring up such words from the past. These are for arrows and later for guns and things to be shot out of. Look, the leaves on these ones have changed. So this castle is the most important and famous and beloved in all of Japan. It's the one that everyone raves about and always wants to come to. So Maple says, how do they keep it so white? Is it sun bleaching? Well, there are plenty of creams in the shop that actually will bleach your skin, but I don't think that's what they do to the castle. Because this one is so loved, it's actually restored very often. In fact, Kaylee, you said you came here 3 years ago.
I think it was a little bit longer, maybe 5 now.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
Did they have scaffolding around it, or were they just going crazy with a paintbrush?
When I came the first time, like about 8 years ago, I think they had the scaffolding up.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first time, no scaffolding. So you can get a little bit unlucky with your timing if you come to Japan. I say a little bit, but you can be 5 years off of the time you need to, you want to view something, because let's walk over that, I think, kind of garden-y like area over that way. Because in Japan, they keep up with the restoration of these buildings. It could be gates and temples and castles and all kinds of things. They really keep up with it so much. So they will put scaffolding around them for 3, 5, or even something like 20 years sometimes. It can really be a long time, because they're really sensitive to the original way in which the buildings were created, and they want it to be as historically accurate as possible. Thank you, everyone who's been tipping. Wesley and Linda and Anne-Katrin and Cheryl, thank you so much. It's really kind of you. But beautiful, isn't it? All of the blossoms everywhere too. There's a great viewpoint just up here that we can access, I'm pretty sure. I think there's a little up route for us, which would be nice. And you guys might recognize these trees, these Japanese fir trees. Japanese pine trees. They're in lots of Japanese gardens, and as I've said before on my garden tours, they're selected because their trunks are so interesting, but also the leaves on them generally stay green always, so you won't have it just looking strange and stark with just black and brownness. You always have that fresh greenness. Thank you, Margaret. That's very kind of you. And if you do really, really love Japanese castles and you want to experience me in my absolute element explaining castles, then do check out any one of my Hikone castle tours next week. There are a few different times, and the blossoms all around the area are just fantastic. So I think you'll be quite blown away. And if you haven't fallen in love with castle grounds and things in Japan yet, then you might. Now, I love the view up in this area, so I'm looking forward to taking you up there. So yesterday I took as many voyages as were able to come, as many voyages as I could carry. I took them all to Azuchi Castle ruins, which was really, really great. I'll tell you something a bit more about that once I've got myself up here. And I thanked Juna and Bridget. Thank you very much for your tips. That's so kind of you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Are most of the buildings empty in the castle? Yes, they are. I'll tell you why in a moment too. There's some nice things to look at up in this area. So first of all, I'm going to tell you, you can only see the top of it here, but I'm going to tell you why castles look like that. And the reason is because a little more than about, maybe it was 440 years ago. Sorry, little girl is looking at me like, what is she doing? What is she doing, and why is she speaking in this other language? About 440 years ago, Oda Nobunaga, the great unifier of Japan, the wonderful yet dastardly samurai warlord, of all of the lands, he created a wonderful castle called Azuchi Castle. Now, sadly, that castle only survived for 3 years before it was burned down, because they are all subject to such things, because the structure of them is mostly wooden, unfortunately, which is great. You can deconstruct it as often as you like, but also they can get damaged incredibly easily, which is why if you were here at the beginning of the tour, you would have seen me show you those guardian fish that go on the top of castles. What do you think? Would a guardian fish have the power? Maybe 2 guardian fish do have the power to prevent such awful damage. But Nobunaga designed an incredible castle that was 7 10 shoes tall. And all of the castles that you see in Japan thereafter have this kind of like a square-based pyramid shape formation for each of the different towers that are on top of the castle. And that is because of Nobunaga's design. And so all of the wonderful castles that you see from Nagoya and Osaka, Matsumoto, and all of the others, it doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter if they're green and gold and white, or if they're black, or, well, let's be honest, they're probably green, gold, black, or white. They all have the same style as Azuchi Castle. Oh, well, Deborah says, not great as fortification. You just need your enemies to just need to set fire to the castle. I'm going to have to ask you to come to the Hikone Castle tour, and I'll explain some ways in which they got around that. But I'm also going to point out this lovely curve just here. I can figuratively touch that. Ooh, it's nice. It's good. These are just some of the ways in which Japanese castles have extraordinary defenses. So it's very difficult to climb up that. I say that as if I've got experience. I don't have experience, but it is difficult to climb up that. Trust me. 3, 2, 1. Let me just get you a shot. There you go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we had another question. Somebody said, is there anything inside all of the different rooms around all of the different buildings and rooms around the castle? And no, there are not. There isn't anything. I'm sorry, my English just went really bad just then. No, there isn't. There is sometimes, in the past there would have been, but generally not. Because in Japan, especially in the main part of the main island, the summer is so hot and the winter is so cold. The humidity levels are really, really uncomfortable and peculiar, which means that all of your furnishings and soft furnishings and other things can get damaged quite easily by the changing in temperatures. The difference between night and day can change quite a lot as well. And so things get really damaged. Even these days, things get damaged. For example, in a Japanese house, in fact, in any home, mine is in Japan, and it has one of these. We have something called, one second. Genkan. I'm like, what's the word? It's like Genghis Khan, but not Genghis Khan. We have a Genkan, which is an entranceway. But that entranceway in our houses, we keep all of our shoes there because we have to. It even says it in your rental agreement. Make sure you keep your shoes there. But when we do that, because of the changing in temperatures, the soles come away from our shoes. So we have to use special glue to stick them back together, or just buy new shoes. And that's just down to the humidity changing. So in Japanese, I'll just zoom in on these little babies. In Japanese castles and in merchant homes and things, there's usually one special room, which is your protected storeroom. So all of your furnishings are put into those. And as you're probably aware, either from my tours or from other people's tours, or maybe just seeing pictures and things of rooms and places in Japan, Japanese rooms tend to have screens in between them. And you can actually flexibly move, they're not flexible, but you can make a flexible space for yourself. You can entertain in whichever room has the best light, or whichever room has the best hue. Sorry, I just nearly had a Marilyn moment with my dress. Whichever room has the best humidity, the most appropriate, most comfortable temperature. So you'll move things around, and Japanese people don't tend to sit on sofas and things like we do. They tend to sit on cushions and the like. Thank you, Judith, and thank you, Alison in Queensland. We're going to walk down to the main area again now and walk under a row of cherry trees, and I'll make sure you get some more good clear shots of the castle. So if you have any questions for me about how Japanese people used to live or serve food and things or anything, I've got lots of information about that, and I'll double check my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything important. Oh, thanks, Charlotte. That's the most Britishly I could have responded to that, I think. Charlotte said, beautiful tour, thank you. So I go, oh, thanks, Charlotte. So British sometimes. Thank you all for supporting this tour with tips and things. We've still got a bit of time left. I set it at an hour and a half because I wasn't sure, but I think we get another 10 or 15 minutes as we enjoy the cherry blossoms here. We've just had an hour so far. but I wasn't sure how long it might be. So I think the really uncomfortable bit these days, as in this set of weeks, this week and next week, is going up to the main castle itself and looking out from those grounds, because it's cherry blossom season. There are just so many tourists here. Until the 9th of April. Oh, Amelia's loving the cherry blossom. And I'm loving her name. Amelia is one of the loveliest names, I think. Thanks, Anna Carr, for saying it's a lovely tour. Thank you so much to my tippers and attendees and sponsors as well. And anyone who's followed me, do consider leaving me a review as well. I'm going to try and get you lots of nice, juicy cherry blossom shots, because it's such a special time in Japan. It's a very fleeting time. Oh, I'm being pom-pommed on the head by a cherry blossom. Okay, Katie says, I hate to leave, but I really have to get some sleep. It's 2 a.m. here, really not late, but I do have to get a few hours sleep. Yes, you do. I'm so sorry, Katie, for the hour, but thank you so much for enjoying it. And anyone who hasn't already, please check me out on linktr.ee/MissKendalJames. That means you can see art that I've made, because I'm an artist. You can see my Etsy shop. You can also see my Heygo channel and my YouTube channel and everything. My next tour is bright and early for me tomorrow morning. I'm going to teach you about the first ever, the oldest known complete novel. I'm going to teach you all about that. I'm going to take you to the site that it was written at, and I'm going to teach you about the contents of it, as well as tell you about Lady Murasaki Shikibu, who is the author of at least the start of the book. So I look forward to taking you there, as well as show you the oldest wooden structure in Shiga, in the kind of south middle part of Japan. And I'm going to show you one of the the oldest pagoda in Japan. It's actually got a surprising feature. And if you're a fan of Japanese architecture and things, you might be quite surprised. Now, I've surprised myself with being able to talk that much straight up about a castle I've never been to. Well, I've only been to once before. I hope you've had a really nice time. And for the last bit, I'll answer questions if you have any, and I'll continue to show you the cherry blossoms before getting you a couple of nice shots of the blossoms at the end. Oh, thank you, everybody. Look, we have money shots yet to get. You've got to be careful. You've got to look everywhere. You've got to look everywhere in Japan. You've got to look up for the power cables, down for the manhole covers, behind you for the little views through the leaves and trees for the castles and things. It's really, really wonderful. Thank you, Catherine and Lynn. That's really nice of you. I appreciate it. I'll keep having a little look around here. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Lee. And if anyone would like to sponsor, you'll actually get handmade art from me sent seasonally, about every 3 months or 2 months, 2 or 3 months, dependent. So please consider doing that, and I get 75% of your sponsorship as well. And it's so lovely. Thank you so much to all of the new sponsors recently, and all of the ones that have been with me always, and all of the ones in the past. You guys rock. You guys rock. Right, just checking my notes. Looks like I did a good job without really looking at them. Whew, I did it. Well, I'm MissKendalJames, exactly the same as I am on Heygo, but on everything else. So if you go on linktr.ee/MissKendalJames, then you can actually you can get a link to everything I do, my YouTube and Etsy and everything. I think I might be in someone else's video there. Right, we've got another lovely view coming. What I just noticed is that everyone was looking behind me, and I thought, why are they looking behind me? This is why they were looking behind me. There's a pretty nice view just there. Always look where other people are looking, just in case. Here's some little doggies too. And a perfect blue sky. Aren't we lucky? Ooh. I'm going to try and remove some of the obstacles that are attached to me. I've got a feeling I'm in the back of people's videos and things. Right, 1 second. What time in LA will the show be tomorrow? Earlier than this. In my morning. So what time is it now for you in LA? It'll be about 6 hours sooner for that first one, that big important one I mentioned to you. And if you really love cherry blossoms, then you'll want to come with me to Kyoto at the same kind of time as this, and a little bit earlier. 1 second. Kaylee, would you mind squishing this into here, please? Thank you. It's so nice having a helper sometimes. I feel like such a feeble two-armed guide sometimes. Just 2 arms. I tell you, when I have children, they're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 arms at least. I'm going to get as many vaccines as I can. Just kidding. Sorry. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's all right. That's okay. Get an octopus. I'm not going to have an octopus for a baby. Sorry, Richard. That's a novel idea. I like it. Thank you. 8:45. That sounds perfect for a tour for you guys in America, doesn't it? Tomorrow. That's all right. Thank you very much for coming. Those of you that have to go. Oh, Deborah just called me. Oh, okay. You called Ken. I'll accept that. I don't want to be called Ken. It's a great name, but it's part of my name. That's all right. I nearly freaked out. What do you think? Lovely. Hi, Evelyn, lovely. I think we're winding down on the tour right now. Thought it might be an hour and a half, but I don't think it is an hour and a half. It would be if we were allowed up and in and around. But take a look at these. The grounds are just huge, aren't they? The cherry blossoms bloom longer in Japan. I'm going to format that as a question. Do they? Yes and no. It totally depends on the weather. So if we continue to have weather like this with hardly any rain and not much wind, the blossoms can actually last 2 weeks. But if we have some weather, so to speak, then the blossoms will be... the blossoms disappear much sooner. We had a sad year 2 years ago where they just lasted 5 days because there was so much wind and rain. All right, everybody. I think I'll let you go a little bit early if that's all right. So I hope you had a lovely time. No regrets at all. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I look forward to reading your reviews. And if you want to see more things like this, do check out my channel. And look, it's me and the whole castle, but I can't see. So thank you so much for joining me today. I've had a really great time and I hope you have too. And just violently punching his bag for no reason. And I hope to see you at my future tours. My Blossom tours will end they're definitely ending on Friday, maybe Sunday. I might be able to push it next week, okay? So please make the most of them if you can. And after that, from about the second week of April, you'll be in my house with me practicing oil painting for the first time. So I've got an exhibition coming up and I can't wait to tell you more about that. Thank you. Who says my humor is great? I'll take it. I didn't see who said that, but thank you. That's because I'm British. All right, lovelies. I'll catch you later.